Welcome back to Lorna Páirce here on WLR, with thanks to PwC Waterford. Well, it's the top of the table clash in Division 1A of the National Hurling League on Saturday evening, as Waterford face Limerick at the LIT Gaelic grounds. The game goes ahead at the earlier time of 5:30, and it will be our Skoda big match here on WLR with Kieran O'Connor and Fergal Hartley. Well, on Tuesday morning, I caught up with Derek McGrath and Davy Fitzgerald at the launch of the All Ireland GAA Golf Challenge in Waterford Castle. This year's event will be held on September 11th and 12th, all in aid of the Waterford and South Kilkenny branch of Down Syndrome Ireland. And Derek McGrath explained that it's a cause very close to his heart.
First of all, I suppose through a friendship with Lee Moog Daniels. Lee Moog has run the All Ireland GAA Golf Challenge for 21 years now. In actual fact, it's in its 21st year. So, it's just a lot of good people involved, a lot of huge GAA connections, a way of getting people together socially that maybe lost touch with the game or out not playing anymore, if you like, on an annual basis. So, and look, the beneficiaries every year are people that are from all GAA backgrounds, really deserving beneficiaries. Last year it was Fionn from Westmeath there. He needed an operation to straighten his legs. So we raised enough money to be able to facilitate that. The year before it was Ian O'Connell. People would know Ian O'Connell's story from Clarny. He was cycling his bike in Clarny 3 years ago now, I think. Went over the handlebars and unfortunately was paralysed from huge kind of connections with the work they do. And the All Ireland Golf Challenge just looks after helps in some way, in some small way, with people's needs that have I suppose not difficulties, but that have particular challenges, I suppose, to face with whether their own children or organisations. And this year it's the Down Syndrome Southeastern section of the Down Syndrome Ireland, so a real worthy recipient again this year. Yeah,
absolutely. Just turning the attention to the hurling, Derek, even though Waterford went down to Tipperary last Sunday, were there plenty of positives to take for Liam Cahill out of that performance?
There was nothing but positives, I think. It was just a really, really gutsy, clever performance, I think, as well, in terms of even the realignment of the team when they were down to 13 men, with Peter Hogan going to the middle of the field, and the way they kept the ball really, really well. Even initially, when it was 15 on 15, to see Stephen Bennett almost 70 or 80 yards from the goal with his man and leaving Peter and Desi inside, almost kind of a Ballygunner shape to the team, I thought, with Austin sitting back as kind of a holding centre back, shall we call it, and I thought there was good shape to the team. Jamie kind of, coming from deep in the half forward, was real shape to the team, and I thought they used the ball really well, even for the creation of the Peter Hogan goal. Mikey Carney just ducking inside, using a little offload to Jamie's shot, and even the attempted pass from Stephen Bennett to Desi Hutchinson for the goal chance. I thought there was real signs of, real evidence of good coaching and guys looking for the extra pass when a handy point is on as well, and clever rotation of the team. So look, it was more than gutsy. I think gutsy is unfair to the team. It was a really, really just a real performance that kind of gave us great hope for the summer.
Do you think he has nurtured a couple of players in the first 4 games of the league so far?
Yeah, well, I think, look, he's given a consistent run to different. Obviously, like Conor Prunty was involved during our time. Probably would have played only for injury, in terms would have played in some position. Would have been involved. I think, look, Desi Hutchinson lit up the club championship in Waterford, and I think he's really, really managed Desi very well. The initial kind of, not hype, but the initial I suppose almost fervour that surrounded his involvement in the team has kind of been a little bit diluted nicely, in that the weather conditions, etc., wouldn't have been completely conducive to Desi producing his best performance. And I just thought we saw glimpses on Sunday what he can do in an open space in the summer when the ground gets good. So I think that's good. Jack Fagan has performed consistently well at wing forward, different, good in the air, almost like kind of DJ Foran in the air, kind of left over right, a little bit different, really workman like Neil Montgomery has done very well. There's a freshness there in terms of those guys. And being able to throw Shane Ryan into the mix last week, Kieran Power into the mix, it's there's no better learning curve for those guys than to be thrown into those particular situations. And it's interesting because it makes for great competition for places like when Shane Fives, I'm not sure what happened when he cried off when on Sunday you're left with a scenario where, God, who can I put cornerback? Even I think Darragh Lyons was put on with 15 minutes to go in cornerback, having played centre forward, and wing forward for lots of the pre-season games. And there seems to be great flexibility and fluidity that I think most hurling people now accept as part of the game, where a guy can play cornerback, he can play wing back, he can play centre back. There's no one kind of saying he's not a cornerback, he's not a midfielder, he's not a centre forward, and I think that's great to see, you know.
As Conor Prunty emerged as one of the new leaders in this Waterford team, Derek, he was kind of laying down a marker to Seamus Callan ahead of the summer there last Sunday.
Yeah, he hit him lovely square on with a lovely shoulder at one stage. Now Callan did very well after. He actually got a hand off on the back of it, and I was waiting to see what Callan crouched down onto his haunches. Would he show a sign of weakness? Even though I'd say he was curling up inside based on the hit that he'd received, he stood fairly firm. We're just watching for the reaction in terms of Callan's body language. So look, it all points to a massive game on the 10th of May. But Conor's a really good, solid lad, you know, as well as being a serious hurler. He's a great lad. You know, you can see why he's been made vice captain. That was always going to happen. You know, it's almost like the James Ryan scenario in the rugby for Ireland. You can see, looking from the outside in, that this fella is kind of a serious mentality, the way he goes about his business, and Conor's like that. I remember Michael Walsh commenting on him when Abbey said we're playing against or Balnacourty, we're playing against Strabble in the football, that, you know, really impressed with Prunty over the years. You know, this is when Conor was, you know, only coming on the scene, I suppose, as an 18-year-old, a green 18-year-old. And look at the under-21 performance when Waterford won the All Ireland. He took down Shane Kingston in one key match. He took down Bobby Duggan in another key match. You know, there's no task too big for him. And he's a really steady fella, doesn't get carried away, really grounded fella. So it's good to see him doing as well as he's doing. And look, he's as I said, as important as his hurling and what he brings in terms of leadership is, as I said, is his steadiness in terms of the type of fella. If Conor Prunty is to be beaten, it won't be for the want of absolutely giving everything in his soul to kind of make sure that he's not beaten, you know.